4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I know, right? Yeah, I get that feeling too. So let's begin, shall we? Uh, Sharing back my screen, entire screen. Then, okay, can we go to my screen? All right. Allow me to have the honors of welcoming our first panelist in the house. Of course, Team C, your your project is focused on banking system and bank bank transaction data setup, is transaction related processes. Who's best? Who best can we have in the house to really explore and help us understand more about finance and transactions and strategical way of thinking, if not Mr. Michael? It's a pleasure to have Mr. Michael in the house. Mr. Michael is a financial and strategy analyst with over 4 years of experience working both for private and public sector clients. His work experience and his expertise go beyond just within the country. His work cut across clients and work related beyond the stocks and Africa. One thing about Mr. Michael is the fact that when it comes to financial modeling, when it comes to valuation, when it comes to investment, portfolio building, financial related projects, strategic advising, when it's related to whether it's a financial service or agriculture or energy, FMCG, Mr. Michael thrives in this industry. One thing about him, I'll tell you something personal. I met Mr. Michael from a project. I cannot forget that experience. In fact, that's the experience that kept me looking up to Michael as someone that I would always reach out to if I really need to apply or think about what the financial industry will look like as a data person, right? Because the first project that we worked on in the past, it was something that that experience has not left my thoughts, right? And I think that's something about him. He's someone that always brings excellence to what he does. He's very detailed and he's very good at what he does. So, who else can I have on SQL project presentation as a panel if not Mr. Mike? This is not his first time, just so you know. He was the panelist that we had. It was on the panelist team where we did the first project presentation on financial and bank system. And today I'm having him again on this edition. Mr. Michael, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. How are you doing today?
Yeah, yeah. Good evening, Timothy. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the privilege to be here as a panelist. Yes, this is my second time, and the moment I got the invitation, I was really happy to be here again. Right, and yeah, it's a great privilege. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to tonight's session.
Yes, tonight is going to be very interesting, I must tell you, right? Because we have two teams that have been working so hard and putting in all the effort. And of course, they've learned. They've learned from the previous project presentation. So I'm really looking forward to what they can do with the time that they have to be able to communicate their technical work and as well what they've been doing for a couple of weeks now. Thank you so much, Michael. Pleasure to have you. All right. So yes, you've heard him, and you're going to hear more of him when it comes to the feedback, when it comes to what his thought is about the work that we are going to be presenting tonight. All right, it's actually an honor as well to welcome Mr. Damilola. All right, so I don't know where to start from, but he is actually an inspiration for me. And when I talk about inspiration, I'm talking about when it comes to how to put things in order, how to think from a very structural an intentional perspective. I think Damilola is someone that personally I have welcomed not just into my career life, but into so many areas of my life, including my spiritual life too, right? He's actually a senior expert when it comes to data and AI. There's no other person I can think of to have on this. In fact, let me tell you guys the story. The story was I wanted to use his recommendation to get a panelist for tonight. But when he said he was interested in being part of what we are doing, oh my god, I just got so excited. I wasn't even interested in the recommendation. I just wanted, I was just glad that his time he's available tonight to be with us and to, you know, be on this project. Mr. Damilola is an AI engineer, he's an AI research engineer. He currently works as in a research lab. His experience lies beyond just data science and applied AI to how AI can be applied in business application, finance, healthcare. He's very passionate about the application of AI and helping people build that industry skills, both the technical perspective and how AI can be used to solve problems. Personally, for me, Mr. Damilol have worked on different projects that when I think of the project he has done, I feel like there's a lot of things that goes on in the project management system. And if you really want to get into that space, Mr. Damilola is someone that has that knowledge, and not just the knowledge, he has the resources and the influence to help you get into that space, right? Another thing about Mr. Damilola is the fact that he is so interested about the research on the brain. You really find it interesting. He's very interested about researches when it comes to, neurocognitive and brain related application of AI, and as well in healthcare. He has worked on AI related projects, worked with a lot of people that are both technical and non-technical people. And one more thing about Mr. Damilola, I would say, is since I started working with him on AI for Build for AI, yeah, I would tell you that I've learned to be more intentional about how I communicate my expertise, and as well, I recognize the fact that there are two ways you can actually get what you're looking for when it comes to building. One is having the right people around you to build, and two is being intentional about the kind of thing that you put out there. If these two things are well checked, whatever you're building is something that you know it's gonna last for years and generations to come. That's something I've learned from Mr. Damilola. Personally, I cannot have another person talk about AI and how the management system works, employee management system works when it comes to the kind of projects that we do as data analysts. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Damula to the call. Hi, Mayoga. Good evening. How you doing?
Hi everyone. I want to confirm that you can hear me. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
All right. I'm really honored to be on this call. I was just a bit pleading in my heart that I should make up. In fact, I'm currently just parked somewhere with my uncle. But that's great. I'm really honored. To be sincere, I'm just a learner. I know that Timothy has said a lot. And by the way, for the projects that you you see on my bow, I would say that they are work in progress. I'm someone that just want to learn. I'll tell you a background story. I remember when I got into Eden Lab, one of the things that got me into that lab was just simple. Was just a mix of why I was interested. I remember the doctor saying, "Why are you interested in the brain?" And yeah, it's been an interesting journey, so to speak. That I'm honored to be here, and I would say that I'm also work in progress in terms that I re- I still see myself as a student, and just to give more clarity and context, I'm just learning, just learning. And I mean, I'm a learner, so to speak. So don't, as much as you think that I've done this, I would say that most of even the research work I've done, they are all work in progress, right? You know, and yeah, they are all work in progress. Whenever it comes to building anything,
Yeah, Mr. Damla, we can hear you clearly. Are you still there? Hello, Mr. Dami. Okay, all right. He's actually very, very humble. He's a very humble person. Honestly speaking, I appreciate and respect the kind of work that you do. You're going to be getting a lot of work coming up from the research angle in AI. And trust me, you're going to see a lot of Mr. Dam's last post on my on my status. Let's just move on, right? Okay, so let's get into the heart for tonight. This, oh, sorry, Mr. Damlola, we lost you at the ending.
oh, sorry. So I was just saying that
Oh,
I
okay.
really look forward to learning, and also, like I said, that I just starting the posture of a student today, and I look forward to sharing my bit. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Welcome tonight. So you guys have seen the expert level of our panelists. It therefore means that, remember what we talked about, whatever you're communicating in your project, try to make sure that you're not taking us from earth to heaven. All right, let us relate with what you're saying. All right, don't give us proverb. Tell us what we can understand, and that's how you're going to get higher points. All right, being able to communicate whatever it is that you've done in a very simple and clear way. So let's begin. Team A, Team C, sorry, I'm sure Team C is ready tonight. Team C, are we ready? So who's going to be presenting from Team C? You could just give me a reaction so that I can look forward to that. I can see who, and once your slide is being shared, I would I will start your 15 minutes countdown. All right. So who's going to be presenting for Team A tonight? Yeah. Any reaction? Any reaction? Harmony, color, what's up? Who is
Yeah,
going?
good evening,
Oh,
Timothy.
great. Good evening, Chief. Afana.
Yeah,
So, who is presenting for Team C? Who's going first? Who's starting with the slide, or who's introducing the project to us?
Okay, good evening,
hello,
sir.
can you
I
hear
will,
me?
I will be doing the introduction part.
Okay. All right. I'll stop sharing my screen now so that you can pick up here.
Okay. Harmony.
Yeah. So the moment I see your screen being shared, I will start counting down. So who's going first? Blessing, yeah.
Harmony. Where's Harmony? She's the one that will share her. We are using her PC.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So I guess you should be trying to do that any moment from now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, blessing, just start.
Yeah, we
Hello,
can
can
hear
you
Let's
hear
you.
go ahead.
me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, are you going to be sharing your screen, Paula, or should I share my own for blessing?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
see that
for
now? Hello?
Okay, Harmony, are you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing my
There's,
screen now. Can you see it?
yeah, Kola, we can see your screen. Blessing, can you see
All
the
right.
screen? Kola screen is being shared. How many? Kola screen is being shared.
Okay, okay. I'm seeing it now. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Blessing, and I'm excited to introduce our project called Simple Banking System built with SQL. We worked on it as a team called Team C, and my teammates are. Call, I'm not seeing your screen.
I'm on the next page now. I think your network is not
Yeah,
helping
I
here.
think Blessing's network is not great. So who will take over? Because
All
she's not
right.
seeing the
Can
screen
I
as at when he's
can I
presenting.
can I
Yes,
Okay.
Kola, you
take
can go
over?
ahead,
Can
please.
I take over? All right. Good evening, everyone. To our panelists, good evening. SARS, I recognize you. So I'll be representing Team C, and we work on a project titled the Simple Banking System Project. And the members of our teams are Harmony, Kolawole, Blessing, Dolapo, Kure, and Godwin. So, to the content, to the table of content, so just the overview of the project now. So we have the project overview, the data design, that's the AR diagram. We have the query analysis, we have the database techniques, and also the conclusion. So introduction, banking system database design and query. So as we all know that banks handle, or let me use the word, generate large volume of data from customers and also transaction daily. And without proper structure of database to collect most of all this data, the data can become disorganized and also difficult to manage, and also to use this data for data-driven decisions by financial organizations. So it becomes a challenge to, one, track customers' accounts accurately, to monitor financial transactions, to retrieve useful insights quickly. So therefore, a structured relational database is needed for accuracy, consistency, and also fast data retrieval. So, due to this reason, my team
All
and
right.
I,
Thank you so much,
we came
Kola.
up with this. All right. So continue, Harmony. Continue. I'm waiting.
I'll I'll continue from here. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Harmony,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
All right. So I'll continue from here. Thank you very much, Kola. I'll be sharing my screen now. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Harmony. I'm Harmony Adarigofar. Good evening to my judges, my tutor, my team members, and yeah, everyone. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the scene when you're working with your bank account? When you open your app and then you see your account balance, or when you want to do transaction, have you wondered what is going on behind the scene? I'm just going to give you a brief explanation of that. So we have three tables here. We have the customer table, the account table, and the transaction table. Now, these tables are not just useless, they're actually linked, they are connected. Under the customers table, you see the first name, the last name, the customer ID. That's the customer's personal details. Then under the account table, you see the account balance, the account type, which is whether it's savings account or current account, the status, is it active or is it not active? Then the date at which it is created. Then under the transaction table, you see the transaction type, you see withdrawal, deposit, transfer, and the date and time those transfers are made. Now these tables are connected together. This is the relational database design. So they are connected together so that when you get a customer's first name, let's say we are using Sir Timothy now. We want to get details about Sir Timothy that has an account in First Bank. We'll be able to bring out all of these details without really wasting time or effort. Okay. So these are some queries we were able to bring out with our SQL project. So these queries are used to ask questions from the database and get useful answers to make decisions. So we ask some kind of questions with our SQL project. We ask questions like the customer's name in alphabetical order, and you can see that you will see that the it was able to bring out the customer's name in alphabetical order. We could also get the largest transaction, the five largest transactions done by customers in the bank. So with queries, we could sort, organize, and control results. And we could also eliminate duplicates and cases of error. So instead of going through all the data manually, SQL allows us to quickly filter it, sort, and retrieve exactly the information needed. So other things we could what other queries could we do? We could check account balance that is greater than maybe 100,000, a million that the bank has done. We could also identify customers in specific cities like Lagos and Abuja, and customers whose accounts are no longer active. So let's say um, Mr. Demilade now wants to check his bank statement from January to February. With SQL, it is very easy to do, it is effective, and then it would come out quickly. It will be able to do that very quickly. So the tools and technique that we used for this project, we use our SQL schema. We could get our table with this, then our SQL workbench to work on our queries, our Google Sheet. We use our Google Sheet to bring out our raw data set, and then we use our sample data that was given to us by our tutor. So I would give, I would let my um, partner, Dolapo, conclude for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Amoni. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, moderators. Good evening, Mr. Timothy. All right, so in conclusion, we were able to successfully design a structural banking database, and we wrote queries to retrieve and analyze meaningful data from the database. And we were able to demonstrate how SQL can support real banking operations. All right, so this project helped us to understand how the data systems behind the everyday banking operation actually work. And we were able to gain a practical experience that we can carry into any data role. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. So thank you very much, Dolapo. So please, I'll be sharing my screen just to walk us through uh, how we push our project to GitHub. So I'll be sharing. I hope we can all see my screen. Please, can we all see my screen? Anybody? All right. All right. Thank you very much. So we were able to push this project to keep GitHub, what's it called, space. So for my GitHub, from my GitHub here, so I just want to walk us through how we actually pushed the project to the GitHub. So if we come here on this drop down, say new repo. So this was where we created our repository, and which I titled Simple Banking System Database. So from there, so after creating the repo, so we are able to actually upload using add file. So when I click on add file, we can actually click on upload files. So all right, thank you very much. I'll be done now. All right, so we'll click on upload files. So after clicking on upload files, so we'll be able to access all our files from our local machine, which is from our system. So in the repo now, so we have the data sets that we use. So that's the account table, the customer table, and also the transaction table. Those are the three data that we use. Then also we have other documents that hold other information. And inside the repo, we have the README file, which I'm also going to be walking us through. So we have the overview of the project that gives a summary of what the whole SQL project is all about. Then the objectives, the objective of this project, which is to design a relational database schema for banking system, implement table relationship using Premier and foreign key, then populate the database with realistic sample banking data, write SQL query, and demonstrate data organization. So those are the objective of the project. Then the database structure. So these are the database structure. So for the customer table, these are the columns that we use. For the account, these are the columns. And for the transaction records, these are the columns. Then the entity relationship. So for the entity relationship now, so we have from customer to account and then to transaction. Why our diagram, the ER diagram shows what the entity relationship is also showing here. Though we connected customer and account in our ER diagram, but it is still from customer to account to transaction. Then we have our SQL concept demonstrated. So these are the what will I call this now? So these are the functions, permits me to use the word. So these are the functions that we use or that we use for the what's it called to create table, insert into, select, and all the like. Sorry, I'm trying to be fast because of our time. So then we have this particular aspect captures the queries. So list all customers. So these are the questions that our queries actually answer. So list all customers and their bank and their account. Identify customers with multiple accounts. Retrieve high balance account. Tracking transaction activity. So and all the like. So these are the data sets. So we actually push the data sets here. Then the tools, as my colleague has rightly said, we put that. Then project purpose. Yeah, and I think that's all. So SQL proficiency, relational database design, analytical query, data organization, and reporting. So these are the so that's the purpose of our project, and that's all concerning GitHub. What's it called? So thank you very much. I'm going to be handing over from here.
Awesome, awesome, great, great. Oh, a lot of appreciation of the group. Okay. All right. So you had 1 minute and 40 seconds. Yeah, you had 1 minute left and 40 seconds. All right. Interesting. You're able to use your time well. And yeah, I wanted to ask something, but I'll just hold on till the second team has presented. All right, so I trust our judges are doing a lot of, noting down regarding to the questions to ask the teams and also grading them across the different metrics that will help us measure their performance. So let's go back to Team D. Team D, are you ready? You, yeah, Team D. All right. So once I see a slide being presented, I would start your counting. I'll start counting. All right. Okay.
I see your slide being presented. I will start counting. All right. Yes. Let's go. Team D, employment system. What do you have for us?
Thank you very much, Coach. My colleague will be presenting the slides shortly.
All right. So the floor is yours, guys.
All right. Good evening, everyone, the moderator, the panel of judges, my colleagues. We are Team D from SQL Study Group, and today we will be presenting our project on the employee management system, a SQL-based database designed to stimulate how organizations manage employee data. This project focuses on how structured databases can support HR operations and decision making. In Group D of the SQL study group with me are Opemi Morakinyo, which is my humble self, Akinwale Akiniroye, you Edward, Babadala Smith Mubolari, Olaide Haminas Oluwatosin, and Emmanuel Olawumi. Organizations handle large amounts of employee data, including salaries, departments, attendance, and performance record. And without a structured system, managing and analyzing this data becomes difficult. The goal of our project was to design a relational database using SQL that can store, organize, and analyze employee data efficiently. And by doing this, we aimed to create a system that can generate insights to support HR decisions. And on to why this project is relevant.
Okay, now we are discussing the relevance section. Employee data is critical for organizational decision making. The project demonstrates how a structured system can make it easier to manage employee information and extract useful insights. The insights generated are useful for HR teams, department managers, and senior leadership or management. For example, they can track employee status, monitor attendance, evaluate performance, and review salary structures. Overall, this system supports better workforce planning and decision making. Our database design. Our employee management system consists of 6 main tables: employees, departments, jobs, salaries, attendance, and performance. These tables are connected using primary and foreign keys to maintain relationships and ensure data integrity. For example, each employee is linked to a department, a job role, and performance records. This relational structure allows us to store and query data efficiently. The EER diagram. Our database is built around a relational structure. We have two independent tables, department and job, which store reference data. The employees table depends on these, as employee is assigned to a department and a job role. From there, we see the employee table become the central table. Other tables like salaries, attendance, and performance depend on it, meaning each employee can have multiple salary records, attendance entries, and performance reviews. We also implemented a self-referencing relationship within the employees table to represent managers, where one employee can manage multiple employees. Overall, the structure follows a one-to-many relationship pattern, ensuring flexibility and data integrity. Our database is normalized, centered around employees as the core entity, and designed for tracking history, that is, salary, attendance, and performance. The tools used in our project include MySQL Workbench as our SQL editor, Google Sheets and CSV to extract our data set, and GitHub for version control. Now, our project workflow. The project followed a structured workflow. First, we designed the database and created the tables using SQL. Next, we imported the data from CSV files. We then explored the data using SQL queries to understand the structure. After that, we applied filters and logical conditions to analyze specific aspects like salary, attendance, and performance. Finally, we organized the results to generate insights that we will present to you today. In this project, we applied several SQL concepts. These include creating databases and tables, retrieving data using select statements, filtering with where conditions, and combining tables using joins. We also use sorting, aggregation, and pagination to organize and analyze the data. These techniques allowed us to extract meaningful insights from the data set. Onto our SQL query results. What did we find?
Thank you very much, Mo.
Mr. Akin?
Yeah, thank you very much. The next 13 slides shows our SQL queries and results. First is the contact list of all 285 employees, containing their full names and emails, followed by the result showing 238 active employees. The next slide shows 24 employees marked as absent in the attendance record, followed by a result showing 57 employees in finance department. The next slide shows 27 employees are earning above 100,000, followed by this showing 163 employees in the finance and human resources department. Next is the result that shows 5 inactive employees. Followed slide shows 163 employees have present attendance records for January 2026. We also found out that there are 46 active employees in finance department. On the next slide, the results shows that when ordering employees by last name alphabetically, employee number 42, Owen Adams, ranked the top. Next slide shows the highest paid employee is Jack Lopez in finance department, earning 150,000. Here, the results shows there are 49 unique departments in the organization. Only 4 are in use. Lastly, the top 3 performers were female data analysts, 2 in finance department and 1 in human resources department. Sophia Milia, Apa Taylor, and Mia Hernandez. On workforce overview, one key question organization ask is how many employees are actively working? To answer this, we queried the employee table and filtered by status. We found out that 285 employees, out of 285 employees, 238 were active, 42 were inactive, and 5 were on leave. This shows that while most of the workforce is active, a portion is currently unavailable. This insight can help HR monitor workforce availability and plan staffing effectively. On departmental distribution, we looked at how employees are distributed across departments. Using SQL aggregation, we counted the number of employees in each department. We found that HR has the highest number of employees, followed by operations, sales, and finance. This indicates a higher concentration staff in HR. Management can use this insight to review how employees are distributed and ensure resources are balanced across departments. We also analyze salary distribution. By joining employee and salary tables,
We identified employee earning above 100,000. We found that 27 employees fall into that category. This represents a smaller group of high earners within the organization. This type of analysis helps HR evaluate compensation structures and ensures salaries are fair and sustainable. Attendance is important for monitoring workforce participation. We analyzed attendance, found that 24 employees were marked absent, while 163 employees were present in January 2026. This shows how attendance data can be used to track employee participation over time. Organizations can use this information to identify absenteeism, look into the patterns, and improve attendance monitoring. On performance insights, we also examined employee performance using written data. By sorting performance rate, identified the top performing employees. We observed that many of the top performers were data analysts, particularly in finance and HR. This highlights how performance data can be used to identify high performing employees. Organizations
Sorry,
can
Mr.
use this insight
You
for promotion,
you have 4 minutes.
for promotions,
Yeah,
rewards, and career development planning. Overall,
yeah,
the
4 minutes
analysis
more.
revealed, yeah, the analysis revealed several important insights. Most employees are active. HR has the largest workflow, and a small group of employees earn higher salaries. We also identified attendance patterns and high performing employees. In all these insights, it demonstrated how SQL can be used to transform raw data into meaningful information for decision making. I'll pass the to Opeyemi.
Thank you very much. So, based on our findings, we recommend that organizations monitor workforce status regularly to manage inactive employees and those on leave. The organizations review employee distribution across departments to ensure balanced staffing, conduct periodic salary reviews to maintain fairness, and improve attendance tracking to monitor absenteeism, and finally, recognize and support high performing employees. These actions can help improve overall workforce management and productivity. We encountered a couple of challenges during this project. Some of them were technical and some not technical. Technically, we designed the relationship between tables and writing accurate SQL joins required careful attention. And non-technically, coordinating tasks within the group and ensuring consistency across queries was challenging. We addressed this through collaboration, reviewing each other's work and debugging together. And in conclusion, the project demonstrates how SQL can be used to design and manage a relational database for employee data. This system allows organizations to store, retrieve, and analyze employee information efficiently. It also provides valuable insights that support HR decision making. Thank you for listening. We will be walking you through how we worked in all our queries on GitHub in just a few seconds. Over to you, Mobile.
All right. So looking at our GitHub, you can see that you can see from the screen where we have the overview of the project. We explain that the employee management system simulates how organizations manage employee information in a relational database. We have 6 tables: job roles, departments, salaries, attendance, performance, and the main one, employees. Our problem statement was to provide structured system to organizations to help them manage employee data efficiently. We help the HR teams to store employee and department information, track salary history, and generate HR insights, amongst others. We utilize my SQL workbench, Google Sheets CSV, and CSV files, as well as GitHub. Our data source was gotten from Google Sheets, transformed into a CSV file. We generated our ER diagram showing the relationship amongst the dependent and independent tables in our database. Our methods includes our database design, table creation, data exploration, data filtering, and data organization. Our findings included finding the total number of employees, active employees, absent employees, where we see we have
Yep.
238 active
And
employees.
your time is up.
Thank you very much all for listening.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh wow, that was interesting. Emmanuel, cheerleader. You literally kept cheering your team up. That's interesting. All right, well done, guys. That was good. And you had a cheerleader on the standby. Okay, okay. I saw that. Emmanuel kept popping on my screen. I was like, Emmanuel, what did they pay you to do? Oh, Abi. I see. Let me not talk. Let me just be watching. All right, so I'm gonna start with Mr. Michael. I know you probably leave the call very soon, so let's do it like this. Give me your feedback about the first team and the second team, and then give me your score. And then after, I will go to Mr. Damlola. All right, so Mr. Michael, yeah, over to you, sir.
All right, Timothy, thank you so much. And thanks to the two teams for the presentation. I was really sold through this presentation. Like, in fact, I didn't even know time had gone, especially for the second team,
Oh,
until you
nice.
mentioned that your time was up. So, yeah, thank you for presenting. I'll actually, I can still stay on the call for a few more minutes. So,
Oh, great, awesome. Okay, so just give us your feedback.
all right, so let me start with the first theme. So, yeah, a very great presentation about the banking, yeah, the banking operations, right? So yeah, I got the what the problem we had to solve is. But I just have three questions to ask. So my first question is: so is the query case sensitive? So now by case sensitive, I mean, so yes, I know it can also help some filter, yes, the list of customers based on either first name or last name, right? So because it's possible to have probably a double entry of a customer's name, right? And so is it case sensitive in the sense that, okay, say probably maybe if a customer is filling out the form, so is it possible probably maybe to fill all his own name in capital letter? Is there probably maybe sort of a way to, okay, notice this and to avoid probably maybe something so that it can be consistent, the data can be consistent. So is it possible? I don't know if probably SQL has something like that um to confirm. I don't know if my question is clear.
Yeah, Team C, what's up? Harmony, Kola, okay. I mean, yeah. What's this lady? Yeah, who's going first? Who's answering that question for Team C?
All right, good
Blessing,
evening.
Harmony. Yeah, Kola, what's up? Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's not case sensitive.
Oh, okay. All right, okay, no problem, that's fine. Then I also noticed, so I know that for every customer, which I'm sure everybody on this call too, we all have a bank account. So there's a reason why they collect our first name, last name, and middle name. Because for me as a person now, I've met someone who also has the same first name and last name as me, right? But the only thing that differentiates us is our middle name. So in that instance, and because I noticed from your presentation, so the set of data you guys, the customer ID you get is just their first name and their last name. So the bank, or in fact, even probably any other registration or this other stuff you do, in fact, your NIN, the likes of your BVN, notice that there's always an extension where you have to also put your middle name. So just in case you have someone with similar first and mid last name, then you can have a third name that, of course, most likely is going to be different, just to avoid probably the system flagging that, oh, this person has double account, whereas they are two separate people, right? So I think that's just one other observation I also noticed. So then the last question I have for groups C, for team C, is, so you mentioned that there is the design you guys made is going to help track transaction activities. So I'd like to know, so what kind of transaction activities can it track?
Okay, um, Mr. Michael, I give an example of maybe Sir Timothy wants to get his bank statement from January for February. So that can work in that essence. And then um, also for normal daily transaction, yes, it can also work.
All right, I think that's, so yeah, that's it for me from for the first team. Thank you, and it's a very great job done.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Mobile, your hand is up. Yeah. Okay, your hand is down. Okay, I thought your hand was up.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Great. Um, Mr. Dami, what do you think about Team C? Do you have a question for them? And um, generally, what's your feedback? Okay. Oh, I think he dropped off the call. All right. So I will just speak on behalf of him. Yeah. So for Team C, yes, I was looking forward to seeing some queries, being displayed. Like, what were the exact things that you guys did with SQL? Like maybe some of the questions you answered. I know when Kola went to the GitHub, went to the GitHub section, he started that, like, that was the part I saw him talk about the things that you did practically, but I didn't get to like see some of the query you ran, because seeing those queries, for me, I was looking at the queries and what to expect when you run that query. Right, I was looking at the queries and I didn't see some technical queries. I saw the first screenshot of the first queries. I mean, those ones were very straightforward, they were just very straightforward. But I was looking at other queries. I was looking forward to seeing more queries, but I didn't get to see them. So let me ask that question. Why did you guys not show us like some of the practical things you did with SQL? Who's answering the question
Yeah,
for Timson?
Timothy, thank you very much. I think the query was there. If you check the second slide, we projected a particular list of queries and what we expected them to return. I think the only thing we didn't return was the query result. So that was what we didn't
Mm,
report, but we reported the queries. Our second slide after the ER diagram was a list of queries, and we have it labeled, or let me say we put the comment as to the things that we expected each of those written queries to return. So probably you didn't get those ones.
okay. So I saw like 5 to 6 queries. Does it mean like you answered your 6 questions or you approached 6 problems?
Well, should I say those are like, I want to say the most important ones, because uh, checking through this my GitHub projection, the one I projected the other time, I think we have just one that's like 5 questions. So listing all customers and their accounts, identifying customers with multiple accounts, retrieving high balance. So we just have like 5 questions here. We just have 5 questions, and I believe those were the queries that we also projected.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're prioritizing those queries as the ones that matter to the project, and then
Exactly.
other queries, we can find them on your GitHub. Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
Well done. Second thoughts. Second thoughts regarding to your I was also going to talk about that. You mentioned MySQL, but it did not look like we saw what it looks like. Like, we didn't get to see what it looked like. So why did you guys miss that part in your presentation? Because you showed us the GitHub and you showed us the project you did, but as an SQL project, we didn't get to see the interface where you wrote the query. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, I said from the screenshots, the interface was there. After is it possible we share our screen? Probably if Harmony can share that, and you can just see the all right. So the main thing we didn't report was the result of each of our queries, but then the what's it called? The query editor and also our queries were all projected.
Okay. Well, you guys showed screenshots. No team showed SQL. So if I was a non-technical person, and I keep hearing you say SQL, SQL. That's the reason I want to ask. I'm asking myself is where did they write this SQL? Is it on a browser? Is it on a screenshot? Is it on a data set? That sparks curiosity. So that was just something I felt at least one of the teams should have presented. Both teams missed it, and you guys just went straight to GitHub and presented the problem you solved. Yeah, it's good. Now I know the problem. I want to see what you did on, like, I want to see what the SQL interface looked like. All right. But it's good. I just wanted to call our attention to that. Mr. Dami, welcome back. Can you hear us clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you. Really apologize for the break.
Okay. So we,
Yeah.
we were looking forward to your feedback about C. What did you think about their presentation?
Wow, that was great. I think before I went off, I'm trying to remember. I think there was someone who was actually presenting. That was Mora something. I'm trying to remember her name. I think okay, Mo. That was beautiful. I would say this, and you see, one of the things you want to learn as somebody who's working, whatever space you find yourself, communication is one thing that, in fact, if you really are not very technically sound, you can get away through communication. I think I saw that with Mobile Larry. You have a very strong voice, right? And one of the things you want to leverage that a lot. I don't know if I'm communicating. Can anyone hear me? If you can
Yes,
hear
we
me,
can hear
just
you
all
loud and
right.
clear.
That's lovely. All right. So communicating well is one big deal, you know. And I saw the way she handled herself. I love when people can pace their words. You can carry people along. Sometimes you're skillful, you understand the technical know-how. But you see, in the real world experience, you want to communicate. We're not interested in how you got the answers, right? I understand. Okay, let me put it this way. When you're working with data, you want to start with problem context. You do your analysis, you come up with questions, and you can, insight, and you can present it properly. And that part is actually really what we need in a real world sense. I'm not interested in so much, in terms of technical terms like structured query language, or you're talking about Postgre. It's great, but you see, communication is so powerful that it's it's that which drives us to hear more. Do you understand? When I had her speak, it sounds more like my friend, and I'm like, oh, I love that. You want to speak with clarity. You also want people to enjoy. You want people to hear you. You know, I do. I'm trying to be careful, right? But you see, every time people fall in love with the way you speak, they are more addicted to your person. They're like, oh, what's she saying? They're more. It sparks curiosity. You know, I'm sorry, but the truth is this: as much as you know so much, if you can't communicate in the clearest of terms. And why I'm emphasizing on this is because I'm doing the same thing. I'm currently doing the same thing. I'm teaching you on how to do it like I can do it, right? If you can communicate very well, it's the most beautiful thing. And lastly, I wanted to say something. Okay, there's also a kind of mild emotional intelligence, or I will use the word, is it emotional intelligence? Okay, I would say the way you pass your button when you are trying to present in a group, and you have to do it with so much finesse. I'll give you an instance. Okay, I am Mr. A and this is Mr. B. You've actually explained what's in the first flyer. Okay, probably, you've introduced the project, right? The goal of presentation when you're in a group, the goal is synchronization. And when it comes to synchronizing, you also want to make this your focal point that you can leverage on what the first person or the person who actually initially spoke said. Okay, if Timothy is saying that, oh, this is what we're presenting, a banking system, and he's talking about it, you want to say and refer back to what he said instead of like my colleague Abayomi has said and said that okay, we all know what he said this, he said this, and I'll tell you why you do that how will I call it, in a work environment. It gives a sense of belonging to everybody. Do you understand? So finally, I will say this on communication. So we had a project we wanted to present. I think it was with there's this. I'm trying to remember her name now, but I think she taught us during my research around my research. And there was a project we were working on, and I was so pissed with my team members because I was not involved. I felt that they should have used a probably outsourced a computer vision model like RoboFly. It was really the lady never argued with me. She just said, "Okay, we're going to do it." I was so angry, and then when she was defending, presenting, it was the finest. And so, like my colleague did here, and I'm like, "What did what?" Do you understand? So you want to have a way of building that synchronization as you pass the button. Do you understand? So that everyone sees that you have a sense that you understand actually what you're presenting, and it syncs very well, right? Because when you and like I think I was still focused on communication. So you also want to be very careful of filler words. So when you use filler words a lot, it means that you did not really you didn't enjoy the topic, you didn't enjoy the research, you didn't enjoy the project. You understand what to do, but your mind was not there. So you see that there is a lot of filler words. But if you actually stay put, so when you present and you're like, wow, people will say, well, he knows your honors. But to be sincere, you guys did a very great job. This is lovely, but I'm sure that I always want to aim for the heights. That's why I just have to say that. I don't know. I don't know if I made sense, but
So
yeah,
that was
thank
like
you.
so engrossed by what you guys did for Team D. Okay, what about Team C? What did you think, Mr. Dami? What do you think about Team C? The guys are presented on bank system. Yeah, because I know you paid more
Okay.
attention to Team D than Team
Oh,
C.
yeah. So I enjoyed their. If I think if I enjoyed their presentation, right? I enjoyed it. I think they should just if you have something like that again, work on synchronization. Let everything sync. You get because really, how would I put this so that we can really understand? Communication is a very powerful thing, and I'm still going to stay on that. Okay, I would say I want to say something. Okay, I have a very close lady friend, and she would say, "Gabby, this thing we want to do together, communicate effectively." And it was a big deal. Do you understand? It was a big deal because communication was terrible. And when I reflected, I now understood that sometimes you are communicating, you are talking, but people are not listening. Do you understand? Because you know too much, but you have not been able to actually broken it down so that we can receive it in simpler forms. And you see it in every domain. You see preachers like that, like that. That's why some people like this preacher compared to this preacher. And
Yeah,
here's why I'm
that's
saying this
true.
because in this our field, SQL data, I tell you the truth. Oh, okay, let me give you an instance. Okay, I've worked at e-commerce company at Jumia when Jumia was still as big. When we're trying to, so we're doing this, Jumia had this, we call them the affiliate marketing program. So the goal is this. The goal is to get more customers. Do you see how I said it? If I'm telling the story, the goal is just we want more customers. That's the goal, right? So that's a metric. We want to increase our customer base. That's a metric. So and what was the tactic? What was the strategy we're using? Okay, we're going to train business owners that SMEs, train them on Jesus case. That's number one. We're going to organize programs that will feed them. We had a lot of that. Okay, we're going to make sure that we have instant issue resolution on WhatsApp. They can reach out to us if their orders are not are falling through even by 12 p.m. Right. So we had all those things in terms. Now you're having a lot of strategy, you're working with data, you are presenting. Well, you see, my manager is not interested in what you know, now you work on those skills. A question that we'll ask at the end of the day is, Dami, always, always your there's something we call it back then. How much did you make from South South in a year? What was your sales target? Did you meet it? You just give him figure. It's good for presentation. Presentation is nice. Do you understand? You send those things. But when you're clear, you so that it's easier for us to understand values because the world is very, very quick. Do you understand? So
All
I
right.
would say that you need to work on that.
Yeah.
We can be best at that. Thank you
Okay.
guys. I really enjoyed myself. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. That means actually right. So that means actually right. That was the part that I feel like Team A can improve, which is the sync thing. I think if the more time we have to practice this, the better we become at it. Okay, so let's get to the scoring. I'll start with Mr. Michael on scoring both team. And what's your like where are you what are you scoring them for and what's the score? So this is where we get to pay more attention. Generally speaking, I feel both team did great, right? But there are things that our judges were looking out for, and those are the things that they scored us on. After tonight, I will combine all the team score from team A, B, C, D, and I'll share it to the general group. All right. So let me start with Mr. Michael. Sorry about the time. I know you have to leave soon, so maybe you want to do both teams at the same time, if that's fine by you.
Yes, that's fine actually, Timothy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, so yeah, for my scoring, yeah, I think I'm sure everybody or the two teams actually are aware of what the assessment criteria
Yeah.
are. So yeah, so I'll just take it from that level. So for the two teams, actually, so regarding their understanding of the problem, so out of 5 possible marks, I gave the two teams 4 each, and
Four?
then yes, so because yeah, I actually so they were specific about the problem which they were supposed to solve. Right. So but going forward, so there is a sort of disparity between uh their communication. Yeah, so that's why I have to start with okay, they all started on the same level and then so started differing on some other parts of the criteria. So for the communication of the technical work, so I had to score the second team, that's team D, higher with a 4 points, while team C I scored them 3 for that. Then for the logic of their solution, as much as yes, of course, I'm more familiar with the banking operation part, right? So, but I'm much more putting myself in a position of okay, let's assume I don't even have any understanding of banking operation, but someone who is a novice or who's purely ignorant about banking operation, they'll be able to understand the solution very well. So I think and just like Damilola mentioned, so the communication really there's really a bit of gap, right, from team C, right. However, team D, I give them 4 points also for that, while I give team C 3. Then industry relevance. So I love the way Group D presented their parts, primarily because they presented like it did a some sort of simulation of the queries they performed, the output it gave. So it's sort of at least if I'm someone new to this entirely and then this is presented to me, so I can actually see the outcome or the output of what they actually worked on, right? So I gave them a 5 points on that because of the for their own industry relevance. While I gave Team C, Team C, I gave Team C 3.5 on that.
Oh.
Then presentation skills. So I should I say I struggled a lot with the transition for Group C. And yes, of course, this is not a shade because there's always room to improve. And trust me, all this scoring, just like I was telling someone in my office earlier today that some outcomes we get or feedbacks we get, yes, they're supposed to be constructive, right? Even if some of them are not constructive, we won't take them personal. We much more see them from the angle of, okay, I need to improve on this
Yeah.
thing, right? So yeah, so that is why we are here. As Yoruba, we say that Ile Latin Keshorodi, permits me actually, for those that are not Yoruba, that simply means that so we train ourselves from home, and then when we get outside there, we are better. Do you get? So
Yeah.
who knows where you'll be tomorrow? Might be even be the one probably maybe making a pitch for an investment, for a business, or no. And yeah, apart maybe some feedbacks you've gotten here, you worked on them, improved on them, and then you might probably be the one getting the bag tomorrow. And I'm sure you appreciate all the feedbacks you are getting today. So let's see it from that angle. So for Team C, their presentation and then their teamwork, I gave them 2 and 3 points for that because of the transition, and I think they had a lot of glitches too. But Team D actually did just like not exactly perfect, as Damnola also highlighted a couple of things. But I think theirs was far better. So I gave them 4.5 for presentation and then 5 points for teamwork because of the coordination and the flow. Right. Then lastly, for professional conduct. So I gave because of the timing that team C met, so they didn't overshoot their time. But the issue around their preparedness, right? So that was what made me give them a 3 points for that, right? While I gave team D also 3 points for that. So in total for team D, I have a total point of 29.5, and then for team C, I have a total point of 21.5.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael. So before you leave, thank you so much, Michael. Before you leave, what will you say in general that we can improve as data analysts when it comes to like projects, working on projects?
Okay, thank you, Timothy. As you've mentioned actually when while introducing me, so I work more as a financial analyst. Yes, I work with data
Yeah.
too, right, but not as much as, of course, you people data analysts now. In fact, I envy you people a lot. I'm very much serious. Yeah. So, I think what I'm going to emphasize is what Damilola mentioned. So, I'll just touch on something briefly. So, the goal of a data analyst is that you want to pass an information or a message, yeah, from this set of data you have. You see, your audience have access to the data. They can go and check it, right? But the question is, so what message exactly are you passing to us through
Mm,
this data, right? And you want to pass the message such a way that even years, or okay, years might be an exaggeration, say month or weeks after the presentation, I can still recall that, okay, from this particular presentation, from this data this guy worked on, so this is the key message from it, right? So
mm,
yeah, a message can have different messages underneath, right? But there must be a central message which you must always emphasize,
mm,
that okay, from this particular data, from this analysis that we've done, this is the central message I want you to take away from it. Right. So I think it's something that is going to be very helpful. Right. And yeah, there probably be a couple of materials I've also read on analyzing data. There's one book called Making Numbers Count. So rather than just having numbers flying up and down or data flying up and down, you can present them in the way that people can really relate with. You can use examples of daily stuff that happen that people can easily relate with. With that, you get your message sticked to their head, and yes, they would always remember, irrespective, even if you are no longer there.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my take. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Pleasure having you on the call and on this session. I know you have to leave for another presentation, and I would reach out. Thank you so much. The recording is going to be available so we can hear these things again. And if we have a higher opportunity to have Mr. Michael come back, I would like us to have something on finance. I feel like I've always wanted to hear an expert and a strategist talk about finance. So, Michael, also, what do you think? It's something I can reach
No
out for.
problem. Yeah, sure. The last time I was here, you mentioned it, so
Exactly. It's bothering me, actually. It's been bothering me. It's bothering me.
no
All
problem. It's
right.
fine.
Thank
It's fine.
you. Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
right,
Thank
now.
you.
Have a
Thank you,
lovely
everyone.
evening, sir.
And you too.
Yeah. Bye. Good night. Yes, he had to leave. That's the reason why I needed to address a few things and hear his thought about what we could do better. All right. So yes, what he said is actually very true. I mean, being able to pass a message, right? How do you want people to feel based on the project you're working on? What's the decision that they need to make, right? I remember when I was in one of my internship, I I almost ran that company to the ground. Hope they never get to see the record. Like the reason why I didn't do well, I would say I didn't do well during my internship was because I did not really pay more attention to the communication part and my reporting. I paid more attention to my skills as a technical person, right? And so it messed up the whole thing. So yes, that's the reason. That's one of the reasons I believe what Mr. Michael is saying when it comes to the decision that people make out of what you've done. So you might be so good at what you do, but your message is just, like there is no communication. There is nothing specific to how they can make decision from that. I'm not just talking about decision on the general news. I'm saying something they cannot just see by looking at the data or by just logical thinking. Like, what can your data reveal? Right. And I think that's a very good skills. And thank you, Michael. Mike actually captured it so much. All right, guys. Let's talk to Mr. Dami regarding to our scoring. So, Mr. Dami, tell us the scores across both teams. You could start with Team C and go to Team D, or you could combine anyhow you want to communicate both teams. So just tell us the score and what you're scoring them on, and anything you feel like we can improve. Yeah. So yes, over to you, Mr. Dami.
All right. Thank you very much. I know I was away a bit. So the first group that presented was Group C, I guess.
Yes, Team C.
Okay, and the next was Group D.
Yeah, Group D.
So I want to say you guys did a very, very good job. Honestly, I'm really very, very excited that you could come up with a project and present it, because I think that's the last stage of learning. You learn something, you know it, that you can present it. If you can do it, present it again. You can do it like 5 times. I think you master on how you can, do this, in a very excellent way. So I want to say you guys did a good job. This is amazing. I would just, I know I didn't follow. Most times my network was out, but I think I'll find a way to make things more holistic. Probably I'll send the data to Timothy, but definitely I'll do something. I'll still just mention some few things from, give a sense of grading to what we already have. So I'm looking at the metric. First off, we have Group C and Group D. So just give me 1 minute. Just open my file. Can I confirm that we are following?
Yes, where were you?
Okay. So So I'll start with the presentation. So I'm trying to open the file. I had opened it before, but I don't know what's making it. Okay, I think it's loading now. All right.
Okay.
Just a minute. All right. So I think both team did a very good job when it comes to understanding the problem statement. And in fact, I would say that Group C, you know, I like the graphics thing. I think I'm not sure, but okay, Group D, you did a lot of graphics. I love that. That was beautiful. I also love what Group C did too. Yeah, it gives you a sense of black and white. Sometimes just do it black and white, as clear as clear. Let's just have short notes. It's also great, but yeah, you can always do more when it comes to aesthetics, right? So understanding of the problem, I believe both teams did a very good job in that sense. I don't know, Timothy, probably you just helped me do a kind of viral thing. But like I said, I might not have a very good figure this night, but probably I will listen to what you guys presented. Then
It would be nice
if
to
that
have
will,
it on the call so that we can use it to make correction and
all
any
right, all right,
improvement thing on the community.
okay, all right, that's nice. So understand of the part, I think both team did a very good job. You did very, I mean,
On
amazing job as.
the-
So for Group C, I would say 4.5. Don't worry, I'm a very good guy. I dash marks. So for Group D, I think I'll have a lot of bias, maybe because I think I like Mo Bolari's voice. That would be 5/5.
ah, ah.
Yeah. And this is me saying that that's a gift. You can you know harness it and do a lot of things with it. Communication of the technical work. Group C, I think I love what you did. I would just say that next time, I think I was looking at most of, I was seeing your schematics. So we're trying to explain the SQL table and how, just like a data framework like that. That was amazing. That was amazing. I think I didn't get to see, but for Group D, but I would say I'll give you guys 3 out of 5, and for Group D, I said 3.5. So the third one, the logic of their solution. So one of the things you want to look at when it comes to the logic of your solution, when it comes to data, is you want to be as simple as simple. You don't want to mobile, what do you call it, when it comes to, but you also want to cover a lot of scope. Let's take, for instance, you're building a system or a banking system like like you worked on, and that's a lot of query that you'll be looking at. You're looking at, um, you know, the bank statements, the periodic time in which somebody debited. So there are a lot of insights you are gathering for that. So you also want to make it as simple so that you know so like I feel that what I saw, I think there was a bit of clarity, and I really love that. And I think you guys did a good job. So I'll give a 2.5 to Group C. I didn't really see much of Group D, but I'll give you a 3. So don't mind me, I'm going to be very biased, right? But my bias will stick on what works. There's a proverb. They say that and to buy more way, no more way. Do you understand? That communication thing, it's a deal, and I want us to really focus on that. And speaking of which, there's something we say in data. We say what you cannot measure, you cannot improve on, right? And aside that too, one of the things I think I learned while I was always, doing my reporting for firm sisters, I think one of the things that they love to hear is communicating data. And there's a difference between you're communicating what's insight and all that. But when you can communicate data, I'll give you an instance. Okay, I think we have like a 5% rundown, or probably, okay, yeah, based on what you're trying to, you are using metric. I would say you're using data variables to communicate. Let's take, for instance, you are using, probably saying, okay, we had a churn rate of 4 point, percentage like that. So we can have a sense of what you're saying. And most times you do that for technical stakeholders, right? But if you have both on your team, technical or not technical, try to also explain in simple terms. So, where are we? Industry relevance. Oh, let's look at the project itself. A banking system, and the other project is employee. Can you
Managing.
someone
Yeah.
employee management? Okay, okay. So a management system. Well, that's lovely. So, for me, yeah, were they allowed to choose any project for themselves, right?
Oh, no, no, no. They were
Okay,
group
okay.
and assigned a project.
Okay, okay, okay. So for Group C, I think Group C did a good job when it comes to industrial relevance. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, when it comes to industrial relevance, I think that was a beautiful masterpiece to carry, create a scope of all the information, in the banking system. Um, I'll give you a 4 for that, and I'll give Group D a 3.5. Now for presentation skill. Right. So I think we all know that Group D did a good job, and like I said, you need to work on synchronization. Well, it's fine if this is your first time. If this is your first time doing this, my there, you did a very wonderful job. Like I believe we can always improve. I'm also as a person too, I'm improving my communication skill. I'm trying to also, make sure that I communicate in clear terms and don't overstretch my line of thought. It takes mastering. Okay, so for presentation skill, I'll give um, Group C a 3, while Group D, I'll give you guys a 4.5. Now for teamwork, Group C, I look forward to. I think you guys did a good job too. So Group C, I'll give you guys a 3.5, while I also give Group D a 3.5. Professional conduct. Professional conduct. Oh, that's lovely. Hmm. I think I'll give Group C a 2.0 here. Yeah, because professional conduct also, because I'm not seeing physically, and also professional conduct shows everywhere. It shows in the way you present your data. It shows in the way communicate. Do you understand? A sense of, so that's something we can always improve on. And I think, yeah, for the final, I think Group D did it. I think I love what you guys came up when it comes to what I'm trying to say is this. I'm trying to say that I cannot really, if I'm trying to explain professional conduct, it will show. I can judge that by how you present. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. Is
Yeah,
that makes sense?
yeah, you do. You
Yeah,
really.
right, exactly. So if you're professional, okay, I'll give an instance so that I don't just bore you guys. So I'll give an instance. So most of the times at work, I get to see this, that most persons that are our employers, they are right. They want to try to relate their grievances, but the way they communicate it can be very bad. And they're always shooting themselves in the legs. Do you understand? There's a way you even present everything. For this kind of project too, when you want to be, I don't know why everything is boiling down to communication, but you would need to. I'm being serious because there is what we call the language of work.
Mm,
Yeah, there's a language of work. It's just like if we're in the mosque or church, there's a language of church, there's a language of work. Do you understand? There's the things you say at work you can say outside. There's a language of work. So you must understand how you. I'll give you some few facts, right? There's a way you can say I'm sorry when you don't want to look as if you are too over humble. Do you understand? Those are the pecs, professional conduct. You understand? There's a language, and it shows in the way you talk. Do you
mm,
understand? And you can learn that on YouTube as persons who. I'll finally say this so that I can wrap up. For professional conduct, I'll say that I'm just changing, but 2.5 for C, then D 3.0. I'll finally say this. I was overhearing someone who was actually. mm, conduct the way he was doing an interview, and I just overheard what he was saying. I felt like reaching out to him. I'm sitting there. I said, "That's not how you actually answer questions." So most of the times where we're asked questions and in an interview, there's a temptation to start telling stories. And they ask you, yeah, yeah, there's a temptation. No, 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 no. You want to be crispy. And when you are crispy, that means you have read the kind of questions that will be asked. So you are, crispy. What's this? You have context, you have content, and you have caption. Those are the three rules to answer questions. I think you guys did a great job. I don't know if there's anything to say again, but this was. I think I'm going to borrow this brilliance from my own class too. So this is lovely, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't capture everybody's name. I'm sorry that I have bias towards Mobola. I just like people that speak well. Forgive me. Right. I love everybody. This was good job. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys.
Mr. Dami, before you go, what's your total score, the accumulation for
I thought you were
C
writing it
and
too.
accumulation?
I thought you were
Oh,
writing
okay,
it
okay.
too.
The sheet. Oh, the sheet I did allows you to. Oh, you're not using
Oh,
the Excel sheet. Oh, the Excel sheet
yeah.
allows you to do
So
that automatically. But no
I
problem. I'll do
know.
the accumulation. Let me quickly do it.
I know. And I think there's something again I also want to say. Sorry,
Oh,
that I think it skipped my mind. So one of the also the things about the future of data, I will say analysis like SQL. I'm sure that every one of us is, very familiar with generative AI, right? So if you're building currently, you want to see how best you can build something that is generative in nature, right? In AI, because that's where the world is moving forward to. So I'm just throwing it out there that, you know, there are a lot of tools. I don't know if anyone has tried Zebra AI as a data tool, which is actually lovely. For SQL too, you also want to see how best can you, do something creative, right? I think I was going to talk to Timothy about this. That I think, we need to work on this mirror together. There's something we're working on, like, okay, how does someone ask quick questions and it just generates this by, what's being done behind the scenes. So guys, just think generative AI as you're building, as you're creating tables, and working on SQL and all that. I think I just need to say that.
oh, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dami. Yeah, so I put the two scores together, and wow, it's like Mr. Dami and Mr. Michael are in the same spirit. So C has a cumulation of 22, which is the same score that Mr. Michael gave. And then team D has a cumulation of 26. And yeah, so D has 26 and C has 22. Thank you so much, Mr. Dami. Thank you for this session. What I wanted to even say, which is what will you say to us as data guys, he actually just said it right, which is thinking of how we can synchronize what we do with AI, right? You'd be surprised to know that there are lots of tools now that are being developed that has integration of what we do in SQL in it as an AI, AI driven, AI powered. So I think as a community, I can do that. We can have another, maybe we could have a workshop after the study group where we could look at AI tools that are in sync with SQL and then see what these tools do, if possibly learn them. All right. And maybe have like maybe a 2 days workshop to just build a project on it. What do you guys think? Anyway, I'm thinking something like that right now. So Mr. Dami has given me work like this. All right, guys. This was beautiful. I don't know if there's any question for our judges from the students, sorry, from the study buddies. Does anybody have a thought, idea? You want to share a suggestion to, you want to ask a question? This would be a great time to ask it. All right. Anybody raising a hand? You want to ask a question to any of our judges? Okay. Mr. Dami, to be specific, Mr. Mikey has left the call. Like I said, he has something that he quickly needs. He has another presentation actually, and he had to just do ours first before going for the next one, which is actually very nice. All right. So anybody with a question, thoughts? You have a question? Okay. Yeah, okay. You can go ahead and speak. Mr. Dami just favored you. I don't know. I don't know, but let me not talk. Mr. Dami favored you because of communication skills. Yeah. No problem. No problem. All right, okay, you can go ahead and speak.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dami, for that assessment. That was very detailed and also up task. I enjoyed listening to you, especially when you were emphasizing a lot about communication as data analyst. I want to ask a question that relates to. I have two questions. One is for you, and the other one is for the other judge. So maybe if I have the opportunity of speaking with the other judge, I can ask my question. So this first question is for you. Every one of us, majority of us here, let me not generalize, majority of us here as I've not really had the industry experience kind of when presenting a data analysis, results and the likes, and sometimes when we have the opportunity to come here to listen to feedbacks, it's like something we hold very tightly, right? Now, how can you, as an individual, or let me say as a judge who has listened to many of us speak, contribute positively to helping us improve on our communication, especially as a data analyst that you have experience in, and not just ending here right on the call, because I believe that after this call, we might not have the opportunity of speaking with you again, or even getting opportunity to engage you further. But instead of that, what can you do? How can we know, or maybe to reach out to you if there's anything, any program or any course you think that will be of use for everybody on the group, I mean on the call, and we can all benefit from.
Yeah, Mr. Dami, are you with us?
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. Was the question directed to me?
Yeah, she was she was
Oh,
referring
I
to
didn't.
you.
I'm sorry. Hi, baby. How are you? All right. That was a
Yes,
great question. That was a beautiful question. So, like I said, every domain has its language. You know. So what I do is I've realized that I'm not really that okay. How do I put this so that you can understand? Hmm. So what I do is that I try to I'm trying to put it so that we can so that I don't go and over talk. So you see, understand the language of the space, and how you do that is simple. I'll tell you, you can borrow my own brilliance. So what do I do? So I already kind of build with AI platform. I have other things I'm doing, right? It's so hard to keep up right now. So what do? It's simple. I have a Substack platform whereby you have a lot of information or probably recorded. So what I do is this: I share them, then later listen to them on my WhatsApp. So I already understand people's different perspective, probably even a tool or a product. Do you understand? That builds the language of that domain, right? So it helps you to, communicate. No, it does something in your subconscious. You don't know that something is working inside of you until maybe you have a conversation with someone and begin to say it, like, oh, I know this thing, and you're like, so you just keep listening to it. So I'll give you an instance. So I'm a Christian, and when I say I'm a Christian, I'm doing my best. So what I do sometimes is, as a Christian, okay, I'll give an instance. Why is that we can listen to Selman for 4 hours? I don't know if anyone can share this. You can listen to Selman for 3 hours. And when you begin to relate those experiences in church, it comes so natural and you communicate well. But we don't make time out for this thing to listen to public podcast communications. You know, those are where you can borrow phrasal verbs. I told you, I said every domain has language. Those are where you can even understand the proverbs of those domains. Do you understand? When you listen to YouTube about like to recording, Substack is one my go-to. I do that a lot, right? So and also I also do this, personally. I also try to use this platform. I don't know if I can say this, but it's a very good one because what they do, they run a kind of simulated internship for people in software And it's lovely because I love the way they structure their language. If you lastly, I would say that don't, you know, if you are sticking with probably you are under Timothy's, smart crux, stay there for a long time. One reason why we lose the language of a domain or why we don't communicate effectively is that we chew too much and we focus less. You're already learning Udemy, and before you know, already on Coursera. Before you know, somebody's opening another course. But when you stick to one, and you listen to it, there's nothing wrong taking one course or probably being under someone's mentorship and doing it over again. So there's something that repetition does. It reinforces your understanding and helps you also to master the language of presenting it because you've done it so many times. And I'll finally say that it's always easy to share what you have done so many times or just keeping at it, right? I don't know if I answered your question, but I would say that um, just stick to one voice. Number two, listen to a many podcasts. See it as your own life. Like, don't see it as, don't second, don't put it in a second, like after God. You can't, no, 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 no. Your podcast can also do 3 hours in a day. You can have data podcast every day. You'll be surprised how you would have become. You start speaking data as a language. There are a lot of podcasts, guys that talk about data analytics, that's guys that talk about SQL. And that's why we have Medium and all those things. You can listen to that. We wake up in the morning after your relationship with God. I listen to them. It sticks. You have improved your communication by 30%. I don't know if I answer your question, but I think that's all I know for now.
Thank you very much. That was very clear and insightful. I believe my colleagues here have also learned one thing or the other. Thank you.
Mm, great. Ah, Mr. Dami just exposed some of the things that have kept me going, both as an entrepreneur and as a technical person. Podcast and listening to like platforms. You see Substack, eh? Hey, Substack is. I used to think I'm the only person that loves Substack until I saw like Mr. Dami's post on Substack. So I'm like, ah, ah. So I'm not the only person that is a lover of Substack, right? There's a lot of content, and people just share a lot of amazing stuff free, and you learn a lot from Substack. I also learn from podcasts. I have podcast channels I just listen to on Spotify. Whether I'm in transit or I'm not in transit, it's a everyday thing. So, yeah, those things work. They've helped me along. This is like my second year of being an active podcast listener. When it was Google Podcast before they closed it. Oh, our journey did not start today. All right, guys, you've heard it. Thank you, Okwe, for that question because this question has actually sparked this talk and this insightful tip. Mobulari, your hand is up, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Damilola. I want to say thank you very much for the feedback earlier. I really appreciate it, especially your comment on my communication as it's something I've been working on. Also, thank you so much for your time and for scoring us. If possible, if you had any additional feedback on how we could improve our project further apart from communication.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, I think I would say this. Hmm. So you see, one of the things about projects is that it's something that you should be always see things like this. I don't know. Probably I had a bad orientation about projects. Always see it as something you can do and stop and probably continue. So if you are, take it for instance, you're working on a project on banking system or employee information. Do you understand? You can always say, okay, we've done it to this point. Probably next year, let's improve on this other one. I'll give an instance for like nutrient value estimates that we're working on, And I remember when we were working on the project, we realized that a previous set had actually worked on it last year. but there was no, there was no enough data to work on it. So how best can we have worked on the project? We just added more data sets. Well, if you had a data of 100, why don't you just improve it to 300? Then probably by next year we'll do it to 700. So my point is that there's always something to improve on your project. Do you understand? So if you're looking at, if you worked on that same particular project, you can stretch it forward. Okay, what can I build around it? And lastly, I will also say this. Every data person must have a small product sense. Do you understand? When I say product sense, is that you focus on the likelihood of what the users would be asking. You know, what could the user expect? Do you understand? That's where AI comes into play. You can leverage AI to do a lot of guesswork for you. Like, okay, what are the things that the users will be querying on this table? You can say, okay, can you give me like 100? What if this person is a gay? Think outside the box. You can build around this. And I can tell you for free, when you are working with data, it means that you have a capacity to think like a product person. You understand? Because as product people, we will leverage data to build. It's what we can measure that we can say this can be worked on. So, like I said, have a very strong product sense, ask questions a lot so that you can make informed decision. I think that will be all.
Yes, please. That'll be all. You guys have taken a lot of our talk. Ah, Valerie, I love this actually. I love this because it allows us this opportunity to ask the right questions and get feedbacks that can help us learn and move further, right? Barely do we have opportunities like this. You guys will agree with me, right? For the past 1 month, we've just been doing SQL, 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 query, 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 query. We've not had like an opportunity like this to talk outside of our class. So this is actually a beautiful one. Thank you so much, Mr. Damilola. And this is also something I want to say. There's gonna be a PM project management. We're having a workshop this Friday. I'm gonna send the IV to the study group. For those of us that are really interested in understanding more of Mr. Dami's work and more about AI, more about how we as data people can look at things from a product perspective. Yes, there's gonna be a workshop this Friday. And it's also a privilege to be on that platform because I really, really want to get into that heart. I want to talk about product. I'm currently working on the BI product, myself and an amazing team of people. We're looking forward to launching the main developments next month. So this is an opportunity for us to look at data from a product perspective and not just only the learning curve that data creates. All right, guys, that'll be all for now. Apologies, we've taken extra minutes, but you guys will agree that we took the extra minute because we needed to get a lot of feedback and slow down and listen to more of other people from the non-data side talk to us about what they are doing. That's the reason why Mr. Dami is still here with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Dami. I'm sorry that we stayed till this time. It wasn't intentional. I actually planned for an hour and highest 30 minutes, but we're almost getting to 2 hours already. All right, guys, do have a lovely evening and a beautiful night. Take good care of yourself and your loved ones too. And we will talk on the group tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Bye for now. Thank you, Mr. Dami, once again. Pleasure to have you, sir. And yeah, see you on Friday.
Yeah, bye. Bye, everyone.
Good night, sir. Bye.